I played in the early 70s when I was young at the YMCA. They had a chess club on Friday nights downtown. And I played till about the late 80s, and I quit for a while. Got involved in local politics and business here and stuff, and I decided to come back.
But when Cordisco decided to get back into tournament chess, he realized there had been no county championship held in Broome County in nearly 40 years. When he decided to create the tournament in honor of his late younger brother, he worried the area wouldn't have the demand for the sport of chess. But he was happy to find out he was wrong.
It's something that once you are a player, you're always a player. Even if you don't play for a long time, you'll see a game and you'll pick it up. And it's one of those things you can go anywhere, any state, any country, anywhere in the world, and put out a chess set, and they know what it is.
Players at the tournament recommend everyone getting involved in playing chess because they say it is the one sport that just about everyone can participate in.
It doesn't really matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how strong you are. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter what language your parents speak at home. It's just you in your mind against you and somebody else's mind, and that's the purest sense of sport.
Anyone can play chess. It's quite common to have little kids thump the old guys. I used to do that, and now I get thumped by them. It's just part of the process.
With the continued interest in the tournament and rising number of participants, Cordisco says he plans on holding the championship again next year. In Binghamton, Vince Sprenger, Time Warner Cable News.
Well, if you feel you have perfected your pins, forks, skewers, and zwischenzugs, it may be time to test out your chess skills against some other local players. The 6th Annual Broome County Chess Championship Francis Cordisco Memorial takes place over the next 2 Sundays. The tournament has 2 sections, open and reserve, with cash prizes for the top 3 finishers in each section, and everyone receives a trophy. Organizer John Cordisco predicts that people will continue playing chess for many years to come.
It doesn't care how tall you are. It doesn't care how short you are. It doesn't care how old you are. It doesn't care how much money you make. It doesn't care what language your parents speak at home or where you're from. It's one of the games in a sport that's the great equalizer. It's just your brain against somebody else's, and that's really pure sport.
Registration is this Sunday from 9 a.m. to 9:45, with rounds beginning at 10, 1, and 4. It takes place at Cordisco's Chess Center, which is in the back of Cordisco's Corner Store on Shenango Street in Binghamton. You must be a member of U.S. Chess Federation to compete. To join, go to uschess.org.
Chess is a timeless game that requires skill, concentration, and a lot of passion. It's a complete workout for your brain. Today marked the last day of the 6th Annual Broome County Chess Tournament in Binghamton. The best competitors of all ages came from around the country to show off their skills. Organizer John Cordisco said chess is the best equalizer.
It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how physically fit you are. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter what language you speak. And none of those things matter. It's only your brain against someone else's, and that's the ultimate sport.
3 rounds were played last Sunday, and the final 3 were played this afternoon. Cordisco holds the tournament each year in memory of his brother Francis. $500 in prize money was given out today.
Hi folks, John Cordisco back again. Another game that I played in the 6th Annual Broome County Championship Francis Cordisco Memorial, named in honor of my youngest brother who passed away. This was the first round. I work 6 days a week here in my convenience store, so between organizing the tournament, setting out the media releases, and working my store, I was pretty tired. I'm not a morning person. This was in the morning, so I played it kind of close to the vest. I'm white. Young man by the name of Sprenger is black. Now, with these young guys, I'm always a little cautious, because even when they're new, because you don't know how long they've been playing. So I played it pretty close to the vest, and we're going to have to see how this works out. I'm white. Young man, Mr. Sprenger is black. It's going to be an exchange French. Now, I got to say offhand, I hate the French. I hate playing it, and I hate playing against it. So I should just do the exchange. Knight F3, C5. I'm thinking to myself, I'm just going to play this cool. Right now, it's got a point and a quarter advantage already for white on the computer. Go figure. Computer really likes bishop to b5 check. And knight to c6, knight c3. I just played it close to the vest. I figured he might take, give himself an isolated pawn. He went knight f6. I castled. Bishop b7. Knight c3, I'm just developing. He castles, I go bishop f4. Now, the computer liked bishop e3. In retrospect, that probably was the smarter move, forcing him to probably go c4, but I didn't really want to deal with any of that. So I went bishop f4, a6. Now that, I think he's doing a pawn storm, but I'm not so sure. He should develop his pieces. Knight c6. And I want a4. Try to stop him from advancing the b pawn. He went knight c6. He finally develops that knight. Now this is a move. I didn't like that knight on c3. I wanted him on d2. And so what I did was I moved back to b1. This is the beginning of the game. Is it the greatest move in the world? No. But the weird part was it went from an even game to an almost 1 point advantage for black. He played bishop out, and I played c3, what I wanted to do to begin with. He can't take on d4 because it eventually gives him an isolated pawn. Bishop d6, I took, queen takes, and then I took. And then queen takes. Now, computer shows a tiny advantage for black, but I think I'm okay. I still have to develop that knight. Knight to d4. Knight takes, queen takes, pawn takes. Okay, here we go. I figured I'd get myself in an endgame against an inexperienced player. We'll see how it works out. It's basically even right now. He moves the rook over to hit the bishop. I go knight to c3, which is a really good move. It develops that knight again. Back to c3, well, I didn't want him to begin with. Go figure. Duh. And it also protects the bishop on e2. He moves the rook over. Figuring why not? I can get two pieces for the rook. Rook takes. Pawn takes. Rook takes. That's a good trade for him. But I just moved the bishop off, hitting that isolated pawn again. He has to move the bishop. I take. D takes. Rook a to d1. Okay. Still pretty even. Computer likes b5, king f8, rook c4. He decides to go e3. Now that's an interesting move there. It forces me to take it. I could move rook f to e1, but I just took it. He took, and then it went h3. I wanted to keep that knight out from here. And king to f8. Get your king into the game is the computer's choice. He decides to go knight to e4. And immediately, it jumps from 0 to almost a 5-point advantage for me. Computer like king f8, then after king f2, rook e6, rook fe1. After knight to e4, this I didn't do. I didn't see it. It's my own fault. It's my own stupidity. I played knight takes, which brought that down to even again. Now, could those of you see what I should have done instead? And it's right there glaring. I mean, look at what's going on here. I played knight takes. I should have played knight to d5. Game's over. He has to go to d2. Knight takes. Knight takes, king takes. He's down a full knight. Game's over. I didn't see it. Oh boy, oh boy. After a knight to e4, I took, he took. Game's back to even again. I think in a rook and pawn inning, I can outplay this kid. He's an inexperienced player. Let's see how it works out. I go rook to c1. Takes, takes. Now you see why he can't take the pawn. Because it's mate. He has to go g6. I go rook to c4. I'm in no danger of losing. He goes king. I bring the king. b5. Pawn takes. Rook b4. Granted, If I take his B pawn, he takes my D pawn, but I mean, I'm okay. F5, B3. He can't protect this pawn and trap my rook because the pawn takes. I can take this whenever I want. King F7. I move the king up, forcing him to move the rook. Or, I should say, challenging the rook. Rook takes, rook takes. King E3. Still an even game. That pawn's going to be a pain in the neck for him, but rook to D1, trying to get the rook behind. I want rook to B6, cutting off the king. He checks. I go back to F2. And this is what I was hoping was going to happen, this move here. It looks like a very natural move, but it loses. Rook to E6. He's figuring he'll just trade, put the king on that side, and use his 3 pawns against my 2, and it'll be a draw. Rook to E4 says rescues the draw. I went rook to E6. I took, king takes, king E3. How's he going to stop? And this is the oxymoron in chess. The least amount of pieces there are on the board, the more complicated and the more precise you have to be. I should have played here H4. Then after D6, I'm set. It locks this pawn from moving. I didn't do it. I went king E3 without thinking again. Casual moves. And this is where he blunders. King E5. And now the game is over. I have a 12-point advantage. I move the pawn up. Again, I didn't go H4, and I should have. But B4 is good enough. G5. B5. And he goes F4 check, figuring he's going to trade some pawns off. But no, I go king F3. He goes king to D5. And then I play the move that wins. H4. He can't check me because he's going to lose this pawn here. He has to take. I take king C5, king G5, king takes, king takes, king C5, king takes, king. He's thinking he can make it, but he can't. And this is where the young man gave up. So I had a lucky win in the first round. You saw my second round game was a total disaster, but hey, it's a good experience for the young man. And I was happy to get a win under my belt. Anyway, folks, that's another game from the 6th Annual Broome County Championship Francis Cordisco Memorial. I hope you enjoyed it. This goes to show these casual moves in endgames. He made a casual move when he traded rooks. I made a casual move when my king went to F3 or E3, but I should have went H4. You just have to be careful. You always have to be watching. Anyway, as I always say at the end of my videos, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.